Hello. I am very nervous, so I need y'all to hold my hand a little bit. I have been working really hard for 2 days learning how to live stream with this new software. And at the last minute today, I moved from downstairs on the couch to up here in my little studio. Can y'all hear me okay? Hey Vicky and Ellen and Jessie. Let's see. I need you to be a little bit patient with me just because I am getting used to this new software. Thank you, Vicky. Is the sound okay? Okay, good. Good. Okay. I wish y'all could see my screen right now. It looks nothing like yours. There are buttons and dials and bars everywhere, and it's been quite a learning curve trying to learn how to do this, but I think maybe I've got it figured out. We'll see how tonight goes. So we are going to be watching a Candace Owens video. Now, the backstory is this video popped up randomly on my TikTok feed maybe about a week ago, and I had taken an edible, and I was in outer space, okay, when this video popped up on my phone. And I watched this video and was like, oh my gosh, why is the entire world not talking about this? This is groundbreaking. I thought for sure it was going to be all over the news. But I woke up the next morning, I still had all the same feelings, so it wasn't just the edible. So I'm interested to watch it with you guys and hear your thoughts on it. Has anybody watched it yet, or is this going to be your first time watching this video? I'm interested to know that. I've watched it a couple of times. I was trying to take notes, but I didn't follow Charlie Kirk, and I've not followed much of this, so some of the parts I'm not real familiar with. I feel like I have to give this little disclaimer before somebody gets really pissed off at me. I'm not like a Charlie Kirk person. Candace Owens, I think that she is very smart. She is very intelligent. I think that she does have some problematic takes, but you can't deny that this is an intelligent woman. I agree with her on some things. Some things I fiercely disagree with her on. But when it comes to the Charlie Kirk situation and Erika Kirk and Candace Owens, I'm very interested. Okay, so this is y'all's first time watching it. Okay. So we will start that in just a minute. Just a couple of notes. If something is off with the sound, let me know, because I've got so many buttons and stuff I'm working. I feel like a DJ with their little, I don't know what it's called, their little sound deck and all the buttons. That's what my screen looks like right now. So if there's like an echo or I screwed the sound up, just let me know so I can figure it out. But we all know that Charlie Kirk was assassinated September 10th of 2025, and it was awful. Also, like Candace, he is obviously a very intelligent person. I have my own opinions about Charlie Kirk. They're not very favorable. We disagree on a lot, but he's engaging to listen to, and you can't deny that he's intelligent. However, going around debating college kids with like rage bait stuff is not my thing. Anyways, I'll quit talking about that and we will just get into the video. I do have to stop it to like talk a little bit intermittently, because if I don't, I could get a copyright violation or whatever through YouTube. So in order for it to be fair use, you have to change the subject, or you have to like add to it, which means I am going to have to pause it, and we're going to have to get some commentary on it and then resume. I think it's about 20 minutes long, and I have not eaten supper yet, and I'm starving, so I'm like not trying to drag this out all night or anything. But thank you for being here with me in my first little official, I'm calling it my little studio, my little poodle lounge, and all this crochet stuff I made. So I think it's really cool to have my own little Christy nook with my fingerprints all over it. So if y'all are ready, then I will pop this bad boy on. Let's see. Okay, there we go.
Best to do this publicly. I think public conversations keep everybody honest. And there are some things that certainly need to be clarified, because sometimes the gap between the truth and the lie is what happens behind closed doors.
Sorry, I forgot to say, it cut off like the first 3 seconds, but she says, you didn't hear it, she says, "Dear Erika." So this whole video, she is talking directly to Erika Kirk.
You and Charlie began dating in earnest in 2019, and in retrospect, it was accompanied by a season of a lot of change. For one, I was getting married and virtually, therefore, joined at the hip with my fiance. He was sort of a new third wheel at all of our events. A few months later, on May 1st, the public was informed that I was resigning from my position as the communications director of Turning Point USA. Now, there has been a lot of public speculation as to what led to that decision. The media ran with it was anti-Semitism or some disagreement about Kanye West, but that wasn't true. None of that was true. The truth, and I think that you very well know what the truth is, because you were around for it, is that Charlie and I had a disagreement which fractured my trust in him. He did something that he had never done before. He lied to my face about money. Now, in retrospect, I believe that the manner in which I discovered the lie might have been by design, but there's no need for us to delve into conspiracy when the facts are plenty enough. Charlie had taken a meeting down in Florida with Ike Perlmutter at Mar-a-Lago. It was a fundraising meeting. For whatever reason, he did not want me to know about this meeting, and that was strange. It was meant to be kept a secret. It was strange because we had always collaborated on and taken those sorts of meetings together. Anyway, I found out about it, and I decided to ask him casually as we were riding up an elevator at the Trump Hotel in D.C. I said to him, "Have you heard from Ike recently?" And he looked me right in the face just as he was getting off on his floor. And he said, "No, I haven't. I haven't heard from him in like 2 weeks." And I then said back to him, really, Charlie, because you had lunch with him yesterday at Mar-a-Lago. And I saw his stomach drop. His entire face looked, as if he was going down a roller coaster. He stuck his arm back in the elevator really quickly and tried to explain it away. He then pivoted toward an apology, but obviously the damage was done. And if I'm being honest, I was as hurt as I was shocked and confused by it, because we were close. We did go back down to the lobby. We sat at a table and we talked. I don't even remember whether or not I was angry. I probably was. That does tend to be my choice emotion. But deep down, there was a part of me that knew that it was coming because of a lot of the new hires that were coming into Turning Point USA post Kanye tweet. Charlie had new people in his ear that were hijacking his ambition, making him believe that money was the truest measure of success. Charlie was a brilliant fundraiser. Everybody knows that, but he was also young. He was naive to what the wrong money could invite into his life. And I warned him. I warned him in that restaurant. I warned him specifically about Stacey Sheridan. Everything about her made my skin crawl. And I suspected she and Tyler.
She's gonna be name dropping a lot of people. I have no idea who these people are. People at Turning Point USA, I know none of these names. So I probably should have done some Googling before this live stream to be able to connect more dots. But honestly, I've been so busy trying to learn this streaming software that I didn't get that far. The other thing I wanted to say, she's talking about a meeting at Mar-a-Lago. I would not be caught dead, okay? Would not be caught dead at Mar-a-Lago. That's like,
Had something to do with it. I also warned him about Schaefer Security and Dan Flood. You can check the text messages because you have them. And now I am left wondering, obviously, if Charlie had heeded my advice, if he would still be alive. I've also come to another realization that I missed at that time. Maybe the newest and the biggest influence in his ear. Who was that, obviously? It was you. You were the newest and biggest influence in Charlie's life. You kind of all arrived at the same time. And you too, Erika, you lied to my face as we sat down in that hotel and we spoke for 4 hours. But I want to be clear, it was different. You see, with Charlie, I could forgive him. We were always like brother and sister. We went on tours thereafter. But you didn't do it, when you lied, you didn't do it out of naivety. You didn't do it because you were young and being pulled into the wrong direction by bad faith actors. Andrew Colvett was never going rogue. You knew that. Every single evil thing that was done to me was done with your blessing. And I consider the onslaught of attacks that I had to endure, they were evil. Because you knew I was telling the truth, and you authorized people with an incredible amount of money to attack one of the few people in politics who was actually grieving your husband. You knew we had a deep friendship. You knew I was telling the truth about the Catholic thing, about everything.
she's talking about how she was actually grieving her husband. And I don't know how much y'all have watched, but I have seen several Erika Kirk videos. I am normally like not a conspiracy person. I feel like I'm pretty logical, but I've seen a lot of people after losing. But you have to go back and think too. Like we all watched him. It was in 4K, so we all watched him die in a violent way, right? So, and that, even as somebody who, I've seen a bunch of people die, I've seen a bunch of gruesome stuff. I've been up close and personal to horrific things, and I don't like Charlie Kirk. But watching that video, like, I'm not gonna lie, it made me a little nauseous. But it's different. It's different when you, like, back in my paramedic days, like when you show up and someone is already dead from whatever. That's one thing, because there's nothing you can do. But it's very different watching someone alive and now they're dead. And so we all got a little taste of that. Well, not a big taste of that with his assassination video. You know, he's sitting there talking and we watch him get killed in a violent way. And she, I think, did her first interview like within a couple of days. Like, she was already taken over as CEO of the company. So, like, just speaking for myself here, the optics, in my opinion, are terrible. If that happened to Lee, if I watched my husband die like that, there's no way I would be like on TV starting podcast tours or whatever it is it just, the optics to me don't add up. I'm wondering what y'all think, if y'all have watched any of our stuff. So not only are the optics bad, it's all it's all weird. But then when you like watch her talk and like her facial expressions and stuff, I've just never felt right about it. It all feels off. It doesn't add up. Her demeanor does not match the situation, in my opinion.
Allowed these people to lie and to say, when you lie, you didn't
Back
do
it
it out
up
of
just a little.
naivety. You didn't do it because you were young and being pulled into the wrong direction by bad faith actors. Andrew Colvett was never going rogue. You knew that. Every single evil thing that was done to me was done with your blessing. And I consider the onslaught of attacks that I had to endure, they were evil. Because you knew I was telling the truth, and you authorized people with an incredible amount of money to attack one of the few people in politics who was actually grieving your husband. You knew we had a deep friendship. You knew I was telling the truth about the Catholic thing, about everything. You allowed these people to lie and to say that Charlie and I hadn't spoken since 2019. I mean, it's crazy how much of a lie that was. You authorized it, and I now know that. The question is why? It was so cruel. It was so mean, right? Why impart that on someone who you know, within a sea of snakes, actually cared about Charlie and didn't want anything out of the organization? Maybe it's because I was like a loose end, one person that wasn't controlled by an organization. I'd just kind of proven that I'd rather lose everything to say something that I don't believe, least of all for money. I mean, maybe it's also because you have his phone. And when I revealed to the public that he had predicted his own death in remarkable detail, maybe you went back and you read the rest of those messages, the ones that I haven't yet revealed to the public, because in retrospect, those messages they're pretty terrifying because they're precise and it feels prophetic. Charlie was gifted. You know that. I know that. And the government most certainly knew that as well.
Okay, this part right here is where it gets a little weird. She lost me a little bit on this part because she's about to start talking about some woo-woo stuff. Now, she's going to talk about something called astral projecting. I did briefly Google it, but I already forgot what it was. So I have really no idea what astral projecting is, but it sounds a little bit weird to me. So she's going to mention that, and then she's going to mention something about Charlie like running by streetlights and the streetlights coming on. So she's kind of hinting here that she and Charlie had some sort of like gift. I don't know if it's like a supernatural thing. I don't know. That's where it lost me a little bit. But just maybe we can Google astral projecting together in a minute. But that's what she's about to start talking. And so because of whatever this astral projecting is and some conversations that Charlie Kirk had with her and I think some other people, like the night before he was killed, he had been saying like, they're gonna kill me, I'm gonna die. And by they, I think he's referring to Israel, which we'll get into that in a minute. But here comes the kind of weird part. Gift or grift? Oh, okay. Astral projection is like an out-of-body experience. Oh, yeah, okay. I get your comment now. Sorry. I'm a little slow. That's why I'm not entirely comfortable doing lives because I can be a little dumb sometimes. All right. So here she's about to start talking about kind of how he was predicting his own death a little bit, and that she also shares these same gifts or grifts as Charlie Kirk.
Well, since he was a kid, which is why it was at least very interesting to me that you told the New York Times, something that most people didn't pay attention to, but you told the New York Times the night before his murder, Charlie's, and I'm going to quote this, you said that Charlie's adrenal glands were just going off. He couldn't sleep. I know enough about.
Also, that bothers me. It's not adrenal glands, it's adrenal glands. Minor, I know, but that bugs me a little bit.
Charlie to know what that means. That means that Charlie was being bothered. He was probably having visions like he was in 2018, probably a clearer vision than the one that I had that you guys tried to mock, that danger was coming. And I'm going to go ahead and say that it wasn't about a Jezebel article written by some leftist. Please stop saying that because it's not true. I know Charlie, a leftist article didn't upset him in this way, didn't make him call a priest to pray over him. He thought someone was going to kill him. He did. He expressed that in writing, and you did not lose those text messages. You knew that. Charlie and I spoke a lot about his third eye. That's why that sentence caught my attention in the article. He spoke about the street lamps that would go off when he would run, about the special.
Third eye, I have no idea what that is. Astral projection, and then the street lamps. I forgot about the third eye. I'm gonna back it up just like a few seconds because I know it's hard to. I get lost if I stop in the middle of something. But yeah, astral projection, third eye. Yeah, I thought that was weird too, Vicky. She says, who refers to having anxiety as my adrenal glands bother. Yeah, I thought that was weird too. That's why I said this little section right here is where she lost me just a little bit, but the other stuff she's saying, and then also like just my own intuition watching Erika Kirk, and then she'll say something here really poignant here in a minute. She's going to say, if I'm lying or if I'm wrong, sue me. This definitely qualifies as defamation. And that's where like I was sold, because she's right. And you cannot win a defamation lawsuit. You cannot sue somebody for defamation if they're telling the truth. And if she was to sue Candace for all of this, then there's discovery and subpoenas and a whole can of worms that Candace is obviously very confident that Erika does not want to open up. So that's another reason that I tend to kind of believe her as far as this, even though she is a little bit woo-woo. But anyways, that's just my thinking. Third eye is supposed to provide perception beyond ordinary sight. Okay. All right, let me back it up just a hair.
Probably a clearer vision than the one that I had that you guys tried to mock, that danger was coming. And I'm going to go ahead and say that it wasn't about a Jezebel article written by some leftist. Please stop saying that because it's not true. I know Charlie, a leftist article didn't upset him in this way, didn't make him call a priest to pray over him. He thought someone was going to kill him. He did. He expressed that in writing, and you did not lose those text messages. You knew that. Charlie and I spoke a lot about his third eye. That's why that sentence caught my attention in the article. He spoke about the street lamps that would go off when he would run, about the special school that he had to go to. We spoke about a lot of the things that were strange in our childhood, the testing that both of us had to endure. We spoke about the fact that we could both astral project. You know all of this, of course. You have his phone. And how surprised we were when we learned that not everybody does that naturally. Sleep paralysis, you name it. We had conversations about it. And if Charlie's adrenal glands were going off, it was probably maybe for the very same reason that I pulled my kids out of school days before he was murdered, because I sensed danger was coming. And since we are being open, I also want you to know that it struck me as odd when you said in that interview with Jesse Waters that you wanted Charlie to have a good night's sleep. He was so excited. So you sent him to sleep in his daughter's room. You know, it just registered to me as a little bit backwards. If I wanted my husband to have a good night's sleep because of something he had the next day, I'd probably let him sleep in the room, and I would sleep in my daughter's room. I flagged that. I also thought what was interesting is that you said the next morning when he snuck in, he grabbed his wedding band. Again, minor detail, but I asked myself, why was his wedding band off? But enough with speculation. Here are the facts. I now have verifiable proof in writing that Justin Strife and you lied to me. You know exactly who Pierre is. Why did Justin Strife say that he had never heard of Pierre? It's crazy. Justin, why would you do that? Justin, you know him. You've met with him. You've personally met with Pierre. Erika, you've met with him in the wake of Charlie's death. I have, again, verifiable proof. So you can call your lawyers. You can spend another $1 billion on PR if you want to. Tell your lawyer to call my lawyer. I mean, you guys certainly have the money to do all of these things. It's not going to wipe away the truth. Okay. The truth is that there was a deal on the table with Pierre, who, yes, is from France, born in France. And that deal was worth billions. Not millions, billions, plural, billions of dollars. Just after Charlie was shot, and again, I have proof, Pierre had a phone call with Justin Strife. He also had a phone call with Mr. Don Orico of Turning Point USA down in Tampa. And you know what's really odd? Somehow this Frenchman, Pierre, he knew that Charlie was dead before the rest of the world did. How did he know that? How did he know before I knew? Especially because he wasn't yet a donor to Turning Point USA. Why was he given so much priority? Frenchman. I'm interested. I know that after Charlie died, that deal went through.
Are y'all following this? I'm curious. Now imagine Christy after an edible, when it has kicked in really well, watching this video. So I am like, I'm in outer space. I'm thinking this is groundbreaking. Anyways, it's still confusing completely, you know. I don't want to say sober. It's not like I have a problem, but completely unaffected by anything. It's still confusing and a little bit hard to follow. So I'm curious if y'all are, like, is this something you're going to have to watch multiple times to, like, get it? Or are y'all following it better than I did? I'm a little slow. But can we blame that on the brain injury? That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm lying, this would definitely fall within the category of defamation. So, yeah, I'm all in on this one. I'm guessing, by the way, regarding this, Pierre, that this might be the reason that the White House never got back to me regarding the French Foreign Legion being involved with Charlie's assassination. Because, I don't know, there could be a French angle here. Could this be a motive? Could billions of dollars be a motive? I mean, I'll just ask some immediate questions. My question would be, why would a devout Catholic Frenchman be looking to give billions of dollars to an evangelical organization? Is that not weird? Just objectively weird? Gosh, that's a pretty big investment. Just really care about free market capitalism? What's France got to do with college campuses in America, full stop? The answer, Erika, is nothing. Nothing. And one of the things that when I was a kid, and other GATE kids, since we've been speaking about the GATE program, when they put you in these special classes, they test you frequencies, sounds, they made us drink fluoride.
I had not heard of this before, but when I mentioned it on Facebook, a couple of my friends had heard about this GATE program. Again, I have spent the last 2 days learning this new streaming software, so I did not get far enough to actually, I did not get far enough to actually Google the GATE program and what all it is, but this is this coming up, what she's about to say is like my favorite part. She's like, I excelled at puzzles.
Tried all the weird stuff, but one of the things that they're especially interested in is how quickly you can put together puzzles. And I want you to know that I excelled at that. I was really good at putting together puzzles. I gotta tell you, I think the picture is starting to emerge here. I think I was right. My best guess is that it was Pierre Falcone all along of Angola Gate. We talked about it on the show. France, Israel, the United States. This time it would be Egypt rather than Angola, all working together. Maybe they were getting the band back together to traffic because, there's been a lot of trafficking that just keeps coming up in this investigation. These countries, these satellite of countries, you trying to pretend with your what now, billions of dollars, got a PR, we can do all of this. And it was so crazy. Oh my God. A little joke about the Egyptian planes. What? Nothing to see here. This is my theory. There's a lot to see here because you were lying to cover Bibi Netanyahu's tracks. That's very strange. You were there when Bibi Netanyahu called. Andrew told me that Bibi offered to take Turning Point USA to the next level and that Charlie turned him down in the Hamptons at the dinner that you were a part of, but you don't remember that part. You say he's just calling about a letter that Charlie wrote 5 months earlier. The dinner that you thereafter allowed an army of influencers to claim never actually happened, but you were there. Oh, I was there every step of the way. None of this ever happened. Nobody wanted to address Bibi calling. Nobody made any statements about that. Full-blown psyop, psychological operation. Truly, everything that you guys did, not only was it cruel, but I think the real motivation was you just thought you could psychologically break me. Because that's what this whole thing has been. It's been one big psyop. Very well funded because there's a lot of money on the line. If nothing happened in the Hamptons that was out of the usual, why the panic? Because something did happen. Charlie told Bibi Netanyahu no. Bibi, also, Charlie had declined to have Bibi on his podcast. When Bibi went on a little PR tour, Charlie didn't want to have him on the podcast, according to Andrew. So Charlie seems pretty done with Israel, right? You don't want to have on the prime minister of Israel? But the obvious question here that the media is not interested in, but I certainly am, is in exchange for what, right? In exchange for what was Bibi Netanyahu going to take Turning Point USA to the next level? In exchange for what? And also, how was he planning to get that money into the company? Turning Point was already worth $100 million. Pulls in $100 million annually. What does the next level mean? It sounds like it would have to be billions. Via whom? My guess is Pierre. Erika. I think that there's a reason Pierre knew that Charlie was dead first. I think there's a reason he was a priority. How? Why? I think France and Israel are involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I'm going to put that out there with full confidence. I also now have very strong evidence which suggests that you lied about your whereabouts on the morning of September 10th. Little details have been edited. You said that you were accompanying your mother as she was receiving a treatment. Like I said, I now have something which strongly disputes that narrative. So I'll ask you this question on behalf of the world. What the hell happened on September 10th? Why are you guys struggling to get your story straight? Why did you tell Jesse Waters this?
And you wanted to see Charlie immediately and came up. Take us through that.
We landed in Utah, went straight to the hospital.
Straight to the hospital? Andrew told me that when he deplaned, you guys embraced on the tarmac and he boohoo cried in your arms because he had so much pent up anxiety. So just given the planes, which you confirmed to me which plane he was on and which plane you were on, that would mean that you had to wait for Andrew to land for an hour. You waited for an hour. Don't do the thing where you tell me that Andrew went rogue. Don't do that, Erika. You're lying. You would be lying. The question is why? Why did you wait? And how long did you wait? And who was on the Egyptian planes? Who took off to Delaware? Who stayed behind to communicate on that second plane that was transponding for no reason? I think you know what I know, which is that I'm going to find out. This is not going to be a never-ending mystery. This is not going to be the JFK story. I'm going to figure out exactly what happened, and I'm getting very close, against all odds, against billions. You might have the billions, but I have the truth. So that's what I wanted to say to you.
So, I don't know a lot of what she's talking about, but I kind of believe her. I don't know about y'all, but there's too many things. First of all, Erika Kirk is diabolical. She was giving interviews immediately after. She's been caught in all these lies. She's obviously not going to sue for defamation. There's some stuff that I don't know. It's wild. I'm interested what y'all think about it. People were protesting. Charlie apparently didn't want a chapter outside the U.S. Okay, interesting. So, Turning Point started opening places in Europe after Charlie died. So it's been, well, he died September, October, November, December, January. It has been less than 6 months since he was killed. And there's this $1 billion deal that has gone through like shortly after his assassination and after he told Netanyahu no. There's just all these things, and I wonder another thing too that has been bothering me. Again, I haven't looked very deep into this because it's just not in my wheelhouse of things right now with everything going on with Donald Trump and the Epstein files and the ICE stuff in Minnesota. That's where my focus has been as far as my media consumption has been on those things. So I have not gotten up to speed on all of this until this video, and so I'm really not up to speed on it. That's why I wanted to watch it with y'all and see what y'all say, what you think. Is this video as mind-blowing to you as it was to me? Because I think I sat on the couch like for probably a couple of hours, just like my mind. Oh, you think she's crazy? Erika or Candice? She believes Charlie was killed because there was a lot of money to be made outside of the U.S. Well, I mean, money is the root of all evil, but like, just thinking about myself, is there really that much, like, talking about personal wealth, okay? Not your company, but like personal wealth. Is there really that much of a difference between being worth 20 million versus 75 million? Like, again, I think about myself, and I just know, like, Lee and I, if we ever find ourselves with, like, you know, a little bit of extra, I don't want to say extra money, but like if we're comfortable and we're on social media and we see a GoFundMe for somebody we know, donate. And like, I know this could be controversial, but like Taylor Swift is known for like just giving people gobs of money. Now granted, she's worth over $1 billion, So I know we're comparing apples to oranges, but like, I just can't fathom having that kind of money. Like, I don't think I could have that kind of money, because who needs that much money? Like, you can't take it with you when you die. Why not spend your time making things better for people? And so, talking about, he turned Netanyahu down for this deal because apparently to him it wasn't really about the money. But Candace is insinuating that Erika maybe knew about this and had something to do with it, and possibly because of money. For what? Why do you need more money? That's what I don't understand. I probably sound like an absolute idiot, but I don't understand the snowball effect of just all of this money. For what? Erika is crazy. It might also be the connections that person has, having the large amount of potential to earn more. Yeah, I don't know. I did see where as soon as Erika took over Turning Point, I don't know how many people, but a lot of Turning Point employees were let go. And they had to start GoFundMes and stuff like that because they lost all their, like. And then I saw another video of Erika Kirk on a video call with the team, I guess. And maybe it was after an event, and she's like on the phone on this conference call just bragging about how much money they made, which she only intended that for certain people, but it's still just, my husband gets murdered, but I'm really happy because we're making all this money. And I don't know. It's been less than 6 months. She is diabolical. She is diabolical, and I hope that this is looked into more. I don't know what has to happen for that. Oh, I was going to say something earlier and I lost my train of thought. But something else that has bothered me is when he was shot, he still had, if I remember correctly, he did not have an exit wound. That round, my dog's home, that round was still in there. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I may be, hold on. Let's see here. Charlie Kirk. I don't even know what to Google. Shot in the neck with a single bullet. Hold on, let me do this. Charlie, was there an exit wound? Okay, he had an autopsy showed no exit wound from the bullet and confirmed that it had fragmented when it hit Kirk's spine. So, go back. Stop doing that. My computer's acting crazy. Hold on. Okay, so I was correct. There was not an exit wound, and his spine stopped it. That makes no sense. I don't remember what caliber it was, but it's a high powered rifle. Like, these things don't get lodged. There's an exit wound. Like, an exit wounds from that kind of round are like, they just blow out. Like it's devastating. So that doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not saying there is a conspiracy about that, but like, that makes no sense to me. Much like Trump's ear that supposedly got shot also does not make sense to me. This is not like a pistol. This is a very powerful rifle, and when it exits, it just completely like blows out. So I watched a video earlier, and somebody said that it was like a call or something between Erika and maybe the ER doctor or medical examiner or something, and they were trying to explain. Basically, they were having a little powwow, right? How are we going to explain to the public that there's no exit wound? And it was Erika's idea to say that he just had the spine of Superman or some bullshit like that. I don't know. So that's another thing that doesn't make sense to me, is the not having an exit wound. Just thought that was interesting. It's about power. More money brings more, but I guess my brain cannot understand that. Like, for what? For what? To do what? Like, what do you want to do with all that power? So you have all this power, now what? What are you going to do? I guess that's just why, I don't know. I cannot comprehend the point. I know I sound real dumb right now, but I'm just thinking out loud. We're obviously like very different people, because I don't know. I don't, that does not make any sense to me. She's playing it for the cameras. Absolutely. She is crazy. We can see your desktop background. Well, hopefully there wasn't nothing dirty on it. I don't think that there's nothing on there. Yeah, so Christy took an edible and then stumbled upon this video, and my world was shook. And I needed other people to watch this, and I shared the link on Facebook, told people to go watch it and tell me what they thought. And I know that they were watching it because I would get a notification in TikTok every time somebody clicked my link, but like, nobody was talking about it. So then I started feeling a little crazy, like, why am I so obsessed with this? And maybe Candace Owens videos are like all like this. I don't know. I don't watch Candace Owens. I see little sound bites here and there, but she's just not somebody that I follow closely. And as I said, I've been paying more attention to the White House and Epstein files and ICE stuff, so I just haven't had the time or bandwidth to add another thing onto the stuff that I'm supposed to be informed about. So we need more Christy on an edible content. Y'all, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but sometimes I take edibles to help me relax and sleep. You know, some people have a glass of wine, Christy has an edible. But sometimes it almost has like a counter effect, because, and I've only talked to a couple people about this, so I'm interested to, if this is, I had never had an edible or anything like that until after my accident. And I talked to my doctor, and she was like all for it. She said she would much rather me do that than like be on pain medicine and pills and whatever. So I had a little agreement with my doctor that this is what we're gonna do. So you have a glass of wine, I have an edible. It's not that deep. But when I take an edible, sometimes it has this counter effect where instead of like getting relaxed and wanting to go to bed, I get sleepy. I'm really tired, but it accesses this part of my brain that I cannot tap into without it. Like there's this part of my brain that's like just these deep thoughts and this creative part of my brain that this Christy cannot access. It is only after 10 p.m. Then Christy is on another planet, and Christy thinks that she is a genius and that every idea she has is amazing. In fact, I have in my notes app on my phone, sometimes when I'm having that kind of a night where I'm just, my brain is just like thinking of all of these things that I want to do or these thoughts I have that I don't want to forget, I'll be laying in the bed next to Lee and I'm just tap, 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 tap on my phone, just typing away at all these thoughts I'm having, these ideas, because there's so many. It's not just like one, there's just like 10 things that I come up with that I think are genius and groundbreaking, and I don't want to forget it. So that's what I do. And then sometimes I'll go back in my notes app and look, and I'll be like, I was right. That was a good idea. And I get really funny too. I'll ask Lee, I'll be like, I'll say something, I'll be like, this is hilarious. Is it just me or is this actually funny? Because I think this is really funny. He's like, no, that's good. So if you see a video or a post on social media from me after 10 p.m., that is elevated Christy. Christy has been gardening, okay? Before 10 p.m., normal. After 10 p.m., it is a different Christy. So if you see something, you know, that may be a little out of character or weird, is probably after 10 p.m. But my brother-in-law says that he also has that same like it made sense to him when I was talking about being able to access this part of my brain. He says that he gets the same way. I actually have not had one in 3 nights because I've been working. When I tell y'all I have been working on this streaming software, like, you can ask Lee. I have felt really dumb because it was check the timestamp. I don't know, you're throwing me with that one. I don't know what you're referring to. I lost my train of thought. Anyways, I found this video really interesting, and maybe it'll get some wheels spinning and I'll try to follow it. But I just really needed to watch this with other people because it blew my mind, and I hope we get some answers. Another reason I'm not like crazy about lives is because I don't ever know what's going to come out of my mouth sometimes till after it comes out of my mouth, and you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. So I have to catch myself before I say something stupid sometimes. I watch Candace daily. Okay, she is onto something. You should definitely watch her. Okay, interesting. So do you tend to agree with Candace on like some of her, I don't want to like, oh, check the timestamp of the post. Yes, exactly. I don't know if Facebook gives timestamps. I think maybe it does. I don't know. I don't pay attention. But yes, check the timestamps after 10 p.m. Christy was in the garden. But going back to Candace, I have to be careful what I say, because I'm really not trying to piss anybody off. I'm not trying to like say that I agree with everything Candace Owens says, but I'm also not trying to say that I disagree with everything she says. I think that she's got some good takes. I think she's got some very problematic takes, but I think we can all agree that she is extremely intelligent. She's way more intelligent than I am, and I hope she gets to the bottom of it, because I don't know half of what she knows, but anybody can watch Erika Kirk and just see that something is off there. Something that's not normal. I'm not, I'm not a religious person, but that woman is the devil. Like if I believed in the devil, I would see that when I look at Erika Kirk and Donald Trump. But anyways, she just, you just look at somebody and you can just tell. Sometimes with psych patients, when we would run 911 calls, I would get nervous, because I have had several patients where you could look in their eyes and you just knew that they were I don't want to say, I'm not trying to label people as crazy, so don't come at me, but you could just tell by the crazy eyes. It's a thing. Erika has crazy eyes. She's not normal. It has been less than 6 months, okay? Less than 6 months. Okay, well, we made it through the video. Thank y'all for watching it with me. I will hopefully find more interesting things to talk about, and we can do more live streams, because that's a lot less time consuming than videoing and editing. I was working on another YouTube video about I'm trying to find a balance between the content I want to post, where like I don't want to do, for example, the video that I'm working on is a video of a bridal bouquet that I am preserving. So I kind of want to show the process and behind the scenes and like what's out in my shop and all of that, but I want it to be not necessarily like a tutorial, but just like a vlog of the process and whatever. I don't know. I'm just doing what I feel like doing, because I'm not doing this for like a paycheck or anything. So I'll post what I want to post. I may post one week about flowers and another week about Erika Kirk. Who knows? I'm very unpredictable. I'm predictably unpredictable, but not boring. I don't think I'm boring. She is definitely on her grief tour. Okay, guys, I'm going to end the stream. The chat window, I think, will be up for a few minutes, but I can't believe I don't know how long we've been going, but did we get through this whole thing without like a major technical issue? Like, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I feel a little bit proud, because I wish y'all could see my desktop right now. It looks like the console of an airplane, and I'm like trying to fly this plane, and it's a bit overwhelming. Anyways, I'll quit talking now. I hope y'all have a good rest of the night. I'm gonna go eat supper because I'm starving, but I will be around, and I'm going to start working on a weaving video next. I've got to make a guitar strap for my uncle, who's a professional guitar player, and I went and saw him play, recently, and he just had a black nylon strap, and I was like, this is unacceptable. And I had posted a few videos on like TikTok and Instagram about weaving, and those videos surprisingly did really well, better than my content has been doing in a while. So people are wanting to see more about that. So I'm going to make a YouTube video about kind of showing how the weaving process works for people that are interested in it, and try to answer some questions and whatever. And so I will get that done. Fly Poodle Lounge Airways. I like it. I like it. All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining and chatting and letting me ease into this streaming thing a little bit. And if you have any ideas on what you would like to hang out and talk about in the Poodle Lounge on a live stream, just send me a message and let me know. And if you get me on the subject that I'm interested in, I can talk a lot. But again, the live version makes me a bit nervous because I'm going to say something stupid. I should just open my live streams with that. I am going to say something stupid. I'm probably going to say something that offends you. I'm definitely going to say something that comes out wrong than the way I meant it in my head. And I have a bad case of resting bitch face. So all of that combined means that I can easily piss people off. I don't always intend to. Sometimes it's intentional. A lot of times it's absolutely not. But I mean no harm, and just wanted to hang out and have a little girls' night. No boys allowed. Okay. Bye.